Welcome to yet another episode of Wellbeing Wednesdays with Harbinder Narula on BW Wellbeing World, where we delve into various aspects of health and wellness with experts from around the world. Today, I'm thrilled to have Eshanka Wahi, a wellness coach and an entrepreneur who lives between Dubai and New Delhi, India. Ishanka believes that eating clean is the strongest form of self respect and has dedicated her career to creating gut strengthening, nutrition dense alternatives to comfort food. Let's explore the holistic approach to health and wellness through culinary nutrition with Ishanka Wahi. Welcome to BW Wellbeing World, Ishanka. Thank you so much for taking our time with us. Uh, Ishanka, before I begin, let me ask you a very basic thing. You've been talking about eat clean.
Yeah.
What does eat clean mean to you, and how did you begin on this journey to start talking about eat clean?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me here, Mr. Narula. So basically, eating clean or eat clean with Ishanka was very simple. And it basically meant that, eating foods that don't spike your insulin levels, that don't spike your sugar levels in your body. Food, according to me, is very nurturing. It's medicine, what we put into our body. And anything that I eat should nurture me. Anything that I eat should add value. It shouldn't be food that actually deteriorates the entire purpose. So that's what it was. That was the meaning of the entire thing, where I was creating recipes actually. So how it started was actually in COVID. And I've always been very fond of eating good food and eating clean, but we never know how to alternate ingredients. We put sugars, we put stuff that doesn't actually nurture our body. So I started creating recipes during COVID. And when we all were at home, all of us were sitting and cooking, and so I was cooking healthy recipes because I was always on a very, healthy lifestyle journey all my life. And I always like to be a certain weight. I like to look a certain way. So I started creating recipes by alternating ingredients and showing to people on my Instagram how you can so easily eat any food, pizzas, burgers, momos, dim sums, you name pastas, everything, but in a very clean way. And once I started posting recipes, I just it spread, and a lot of people got to know about it. A lot of people actually asked me, then why don't you do a class, because these COVID classes were going on so much. And then I started this Eat Clean with Ishanka, and I actually started doing online classes. And before I knew it, I had over, I think, 900 people who had enrolled for my classes. And it was amazing. It was a beautiful journey. I still missed that period, but that was something with respect to COVID. And then I started doing nutrition coaching. Then I started like everything else. So it's that has been my journey.
And tell me one thing, Ishanka. Everybody's been talking about holistic health. Now,
Yes.
holistic health is all about being physically fit as well as mentally strong. So, how does eating clean contribute to both keeping yourself physically fit, well groomed, be a certain weight, be a certain body type, but also makes you mentally strong? Has something worked for you in the past that you would want to share?
Oh, I can't talk enough about this because what do you call, for me, eating clean is not really about the physical journey. That's just a byproduct. Losing weight and losing inches is just such a byproduct. The main thing is your mental health, actually. You start seeing things so differently, and there is a scientific reason to it also. It's not just a fad. It is that, when you eat something, there is a hormone called serotonin. We all think that it's produced in the brain, but actually it's not. It's produced in the gut. And once it's created in the gut, it's transmitted through neurotransmitters into your brain, which is what makes you feel good. There's always, like, whenever you feel a little bit of anxiety, you say, nah, there's something that I'm feeling in my stomach. I'm getting butterflies in my stomach. Or like when you're sure about something, you say, I know it in my gut. What is that? It's all here. It's all in your stomach. So the cleaner you keep and the better food you eat, it really impacts you mentally. You'll eat, if you're feeling anxious and you'll go have a smoke, or if you go eat some junk food, it'll always make you feel worse no one in this world has felt better after that. It might be a short term, like 5 second better, but you will actually see that if you eat something very clean, and I have, I create these plates for people, and once they eat that, they actually start feeling really good. There are foods that really, really boost the happy hormones in your body, which are clean foods, which have the correct nutrition palette.
Awesome. And Ishanka, you spoke about having any kind of food, but with in a clean manner, which meant having the right ingredients.
Yeah.
So what are some of the unhealthy ingredients that you like to replace in your comfort foods? And what superfoods do you feel should be the one that should be substituting these? Maybe you'd want to share some example of a popular food recipe, transformation that you have done in the past.
Sure, sure. So, of course, everything is very bio-individual. What works for me may not work for you. That is definitely there. Some foods really, work for me. For example, an avocado really works for me, but I have a client who's been with me. An avocado doesn't suit that person at all, which is supposed to be a superfood. So every food, of course, is different, works differently in every body. But there is a generic thumb rule per se that some foods that generically won't be good for anybody. Number one would be sugar for me. Like, processed sugars. I don't like natural sugars are okay in fruit and, in other foods it's fine. But when you put in that white sugar, processed sugars and lots of it, I would highly recommend everyone stays away from it. It is as bad as, it has zero nutrition value. Even if you just like a layman who doesn't know much about nutrition can just Google nutrition value of processed sugar. You'll see 0.0000000, and just the sugar levels high. So basically what it does is primarily just you have it and it spikes in your body, it just tastes good on the tongue. And it's the cheapest option available. But it doesn't do anything else. As opposed to, I don't have a problem with sweet. You take that sweet and you use it with dates, you use it with, organic maple syrup, with monk fruit. There are so many options available. And you sweeten your food with those things which actually add value to your body. They actually give you the nutrition, they give you the antioxidants, they give you a nutritional value, the right kind of, everything, basically, not just spiking your sugar levels. So that's one, which I definitely completely, I don't even have a box of sugar in my house. So when someone asks for it, I'm like, sorry, I don't have it in my house. Then something as simple as, there are certain oils that I don't recommend in eating food, and that is a generic rule. It does not do like, your vegetable oils and your canola oils and deep frying in those sort of oils. I do not recommend it to anybody. It's a thumb rule. It's not like, it's bio individual there. Junk food, processed foods, those sort of foods where you buy a food and you can't even understand the ingredients. If there are 2 or 3 or more ingredients that you don't understand, I don't think you should even plan to buy it. The ingredients should be very simple. So those are sort of things which, apply as a thumb rule, and I don't discriminate anyone, or it's not bio individual. So these are the foods that I would definitely tell people to stop using.
Awesome. And I'll get back to the earlier question that I'd asked you regarding the holistic health. Now, holistic health, apart from the physical and mental health, also includes some level of spiritual well-being.
Yeah.
So, is there a way that you integrate all these aspects when you're dealing with your clients?
Actually, my wellness journey, I don't know if you've seen all the details of my wellness journey. It is never about, I'm not a dietitian. I'm not someone who'll tell you, ek roti khao, or, ye lo. I don't do that. I teach a lifestyle. Like, when I consult someone, it's completely lifestyle training. I consult with respect to lifestyle. So after 3 months, they don't come to me. I don't like it when someone keeps coming to me, honestly. I like someone who understands that this is how you create your lifestyle. This is how you create your plate. And then whether you go out, whether you're at a wedding, whether you're on a holiday, you are able to order or you're able to eat wherever you are. It's just about your food synergies, how you synergize food with one another, which works for you. So with me, we figure it out with respect to how it works, and like what works, and then how it works is up to you for the rest of your life. And with respect to, so what the question you came up with is the spiritual journey. So my entire consulting includes, of course, there's eating clean, which is the most, of course, important. Second is I supervise everything with respect to their physical journey, where how much are they working out, what are they doing as per their individual needs, their age, their BMI, everything. And the most important, which is the closest to me, is that every week when I speak with them, we do some sort of a spiritual, sort of like awakening, or like something with respect to spirituality, whether it's a meditation, whether it's like, calming baths that I tell them to take, whether it's there are so many things that, it's even cluttered. There are a lot of people whose homes are very cluttered, and I make them write like a form for me before, and I understand what their personality is like. So if I feel like there's a lot of clutter around them, I make them declutter every single day, and like, so because what is outside really impacts you inside, so I do believe in those things. And yes, spirituality and doing these, mental health things every week is very important for me as well. I tell them to go out for date nights, take cuddles, appreciate a partner, their partner, appreciate themselves every morning. So these small things really, I feel, in the larger scheme of things, really make a difference.
But, since you spoke about clutter, let me speak to you about a very different kind of clutter that is there right now. And
Yeah.
it is important to all of us because digital and social is a way to spread the message, to make
Yeah.
people understand what we really are speaking of. There are so many people talking about holistic health. There are so many people talking about the concept of bringing mind, body, soul together for a better living, for healthier living. Uh, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you began your journey, and what are the ways in which you kind of overcame all these challenges when you started using the digital to share your knowledge, your experiences?
That is a very important point, that, it's how we use any medium in life, anything, even if it's a human being, even your friend. You can sit and gossip with a friend all day long and talk about, different things negatively, or you can learn so much from another friend. So it's actually how you use any medium, and that's very important to be aware of that. For me, I use social media for my work, for getting information. It's a beautiful platform as well. Like, you get so much information so quickly, you don't have to look around. There's so much available. But yeah, to be able to be aware, to filter that information and not really go into, like, the not such a constructive way, it's something that one has to be very aware of, and use the medium just for your work, just for how it serves you, not for, like, random things, to just where it's brainless, where it doesn't really, give you any constructive information. It's just a deteriorating information that it's giving you, and you're just like sitting and wasting time, because that's like literally a boost of dopamine that you're doing. When you're just scrolling and you're just watching something for 1 second, and our patience level has also become 5 seconds. Within 5 seconds, if we don't like something, we scroll. It's literally become like that. It shouldn't be that. It should be you start following things that actually make a difference to you. I do a lot of, so again, one of the practices that I do with my clients is also I make them unfollow a lot of accounts on social media. So I was like, if you are just stalking someone, whether it's an ex, whether it's someone's, something from the past, if you're just sitting and stalking that person on your social media, please kindly unfollow. If it's not helping you, if you just want to know intrusively about someone's life, it's not important. The person should either add to your life, add value to your life with respect to information that you want to gather to become a human being that you aspire to be. Second, it should be someone who makes you laugh. There are a lot of things that just make you laugh on a day, and you don't always want to be in a serious mode. You want something which puts you in a good mood. Anything that puts you in a good mood, you're okay. And sit with yourself and be aware, how did I feel after this? After this conversation, if I'm feeling very down, then I know that, listen, I don't need to engage with this person after, a second time. I don't need to go through this another time. But if I'm feeling energized, if I'm feeling happy, if I'm feeling calm, good hormones have come up in my body, then that's it. You know that this person is worth it. Sometimes you're just scrolling, and then after that, you're just feeling really low about yourself. That, okay, I'm like, this one is on this holiday, that was, and that's inevitable. You really can't control so much, but you can at least be aware.
So, Ishanka, a lot of people, when they listen to people like you, they get inspired. They want to begin on a journey of transitioning their life to become more healthier, and become their ideal self. And they begin the journey, but somewhere down the line they kind of give up. They're like they're not consistent with what they are doing, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have also encountered these kind of people who started working with you. What do you think is the right way for people to start their journey towards transitioning self so that they can be consistent in what they are doing and achieve their goals and objectives?
Honestly, yeah, the first thing that I speak to someone about is consistency. Like, you need to be consistent. And that's why we create very small goals. And how one gets consistent is when, honestly, it's just human nature. There's nothing, no one is bad or wrong in this. But when they see some sort of change. So from week one to week two, and we are on, we measure a lot of parameters every week, whether it's inches, weight, whether it's how they're feeling, how their hair, skin, everything is looking. So we're seeing everything on a weekly basis. So when they see some sort of growth, I literally urge them and beg them, like not beg them, but I urge them to keep, focus on that. There are so many times when they want to fall off the, wagon or something. They're not being able to be consistent. So I give it a break, 1 day break. You do what you want, but you come back to it. Consistency. I tell them, even if you want to go to if you're going to the gym 5 times, even if you're going the fourth time or fifth time and not doing the workouts like you did the first 3 times, you just did a small bit. You just went. That's enough. You went, you did 10 sit ups and came back. I'm okay with that. But you be consistent. Don't just say that, okay, this week I didn't go at all. If I tell you to go in the pool and swim 2 times a week, you go into the pool. Whether you swim or not is not a big deal, but at least make an effort to, like, just go into the pool. A lot of times I just say, when in the morning, what you should do is just wear your workout clothes. So you'll end up working out, pre-planning your meals. It is very hard to eat clean, even for me, if I don't plan in advance. It is impossible almost. If I just say, yeah, I'll eat clean, then you'll end up eating, like, you'll have to make changes around your house and around yourself to encourage yourself to eating clean and to living that better lifestyle. Now, if you see in my house, there is no packet of chips, or, like, there's no sugar, there are no chocolates around the house. If you want to eat sweet, you will only get a date. If you want to eat if you want to snack on something, there will be seed crackers, which I have only made at home, or there will be, like, a bowl of nuts or something, stuff like that to snack on. So there's not much you can go wrong with. And yeah, once in a while you go out, you want to indulge in something. Of course, it's life, it's a lifestyle. You can do what you want, but just creating an environment and an ecosystem where it encourages you and supports you to your goals with respect, and not, kind of damages it, the entire process. Like, if you do go out every night, and it's just about being a little disciplined. Like, me and my husband are in bed by 8:39 now. Now, if I do make a plan every night to go out at 10 o'clock with friends and all that, of course I will fall off. Of course, how much can I keep? That self-control is not possible. So, you have to have a little shift in your lifestyle in general.
I think
So,
it's important to just show up and be in the game, do the
yeah,
little stuff. And also, I
yeah,
think, in my experience of watching and speaking to a lot of people like you, what I've also understood is that, you're not alone in the game. You have to have people who help you
support.
through this journey. So, I mean, your
100%.
people at home, your friends, you need somebody who's holding you accountable for what you really
Yeah,
say.
exactly. Very, very rightly said. You are accountable to me when you're speaking with me. But one of the questions again in my questionnaire is, are people supporting you at home? Do people support your journey? Or are people going to be like, what are you doing? They are not into that. It's very important for your husband. You are an average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. You do become that average, and therefore you keep changing as a person and evolving as a person as well, because those 5 people do keep changing in your life. But if those 5 people can't support you, it becomes, I'm not saying it's still impossible, but it does become very challenging to do that then.
And Ishanka, what I've also seen is that, people binge eat when they are stressed, and or when they are like their challenges going on, they go on a shopping spree. So food is also one kind of a way to vent out their emotions.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, and I've heard you speak about the psychology of eating,
Yeah.
right? Can you share a little bit about what is psychology of eating in your opinion? How do you take this?
So, yeah. So, psychology of eating is literally being an intuitive eater, literally. Like, For me, I don't follow the entire rule of like having breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, ab subah ho gayi, I have to eat breakfast. Now it's 1 o'clock, I have to eat lunch, and so on. I eat when I'm hungry. So I have trained my mind or my gut to understand, to give me a calling when I'm actually hungry. And you'll be surprised after a point where you'll see that you don't, sometimes you may need all the meals when I've done weight training or when you've had a very strenuous day. You eat that food, you need that sort of food for energy. But sometimes we all have a very lax lifestyle where we're working on the laptop in a room, in an air conditioned room. We're not walking enough so much. Back in the day, people who needed breakfast, lunch, and dinner was farmers who were like, doing a lot of body weight work. They were using their body for all the work. So they needed that sort of energy every few hours. We don't really need that energy. We need to evolve to a point where we understand the psychology of food, we understand what nurtures us, and we understand from our gut that when we need to eat. So intuitive eating is something that I do train my clients, which is a combination of like, in a way, intermittent fasting. They do end up fasting with respect to where they use their body, the already stored energy or slash fat in their body as energy. We try to break those molecules up, and we use those molecules to come to their correct BMI. When you're at your BMI, then there is nothing to worry about, because how much ever energy you're taking in, the calories you're taking in, the calories are going out. So the body is in a very, very, very smooth functional way where it's functioning perfectly. It's like a machine, right? So the fuel that's come in, there's no fuel that's been stored out, it's been used. So that really, and then again, the psychology of food becomes about understanding the food's synergies that work for you. So what kind of vegetables work for you, whether you need to have vegetables raw or whether you need to have them cooked. Everyone's is different. Which fruit works for you? There are so many fruits that give you a sugar spike immediately, and you'll feel that. You'll suddenly feel energized, then you'll feel low. So it's something I don't monitor. There is no machine that I monitor. There is no calorie calculator that I do. I don't do that. I just make it about simple how you're feeling after eating something, and whether